did you have a grudge against Cardi originally, or did that kind of emerge over time through you doing the content?
No, I just didn't like her over time. You know, there was a lot of shit happening behind the scenes.
Really?
Yeah, like, you know, she claimed she was blood, I think a hat or some shit. You ever heard of a hat? Yeah, like this, I don't know what the fuck blood. I'm not into the gang lifestyle, but it was weird being a commentator and her gang member friends would reach out to me to do for me to do stories on the shit that they went through, like especially during when she had ordered that hit on them bartenders against Offset, right? And the girls that was with her called me to say, I want to tell my side. I'm like, you sure you're a gang member? Does Cardi know you talking to me?
Right.
And they would figure it out. Oh my God, I'm sorry, but it's too late. They already told me everything, you know? But no, I mean, Cardi, okay. I talk about Cardi the same way I talk about anybody. You see my content. I do not hold back for anybody, but for some reason, like, she took it very personal. And I get it. I mean, Offset moves, you know?
A little sloppy.
Yes.
At times over the years, yeah. I'm not saying currently, but.
Nah. Like, I just had one the other day. It was a white girl. He had, you know, she claimed they had been messing around even before Cardi's, you know? She had pictures of the house and the car and said she had slept on the baby's bed, you know? And she had his phone number with text messages and shit like that, you know? And yeah, but he's just always been very, very sloppy. And so for me, now I remember I was getting a sex tape from him. He had somebody bouncing on his dick. Like, I was just like, this nigga just don't care.
Right.
But it's content. I'm a broadcaster, you know? So I'm gonna put it out there. You're one of the hottest hip hop artists out there now, and your husband out here moving real reckless. You know, it was just natural, the same way I do everybody. But you know, she didn't like an interview that I did with a former stripper friend of hers, who said a lot of things that she did and they did together, right? And she had made some allegations, but social media had already been making them allegations, you know, about her sexual health and all that shit, you know? And yeah, that interview did 5 million views because she responded.
Oh, wow.
You know, like, and then it kept doing views because she kept responding because, you know, it was a lot of shit that was going viral at the time. And so she, you know, real rudely asked me to take it down. And I'm like, take what down? Take the interview down. That shit ain't true. I'm like, you want to address it? No, I don't want to address it. Then she goes live to address it. Bitch, I'm running my story.
Right.
Yeah, so, and I did just that. And I said, if you want it down, bitch, a judge got to take me down, tell me to take it down. And he did.
Right.
I took it down.
But so the logic is usually that as a commentator, you don't really have that much to worry about because it's extremely hard to sue somebody who's part of the media in America. And it turns out
I didn't really
it's
know
not impossible.
anything about lawsuits then. I had never been to court for anything in my life except for a traffic ticket. You see what I'm saying? Like, so when she started saying she was going to sue, I was like, bitch, I don't care. I wipe my fucking ass with cease and desist. Who gives a fuck? You know, you going to spend your money on this? Go ahead. So when she filed the lawsuit, I was like, well, if it mean that much, because I was pregnant at the time when she filed the lawsuit, and I was high risk. So I was like, well, if it really mean that much, I'll take it down. But then she was like, take it down and apologize. I said, apologize for what? You need to apologize. I'm not apologizing for a motherfucking thing. I'll take this interview down, but I'm not apologizing. So, you know, I had, you know, told my husband what I had talked about, you know, with her lawyers. And he was like, put that shit back up and tell her to go sue. And she did just that. And she put a lot. She put $1.2 million towards that lawsuit.
Right.
All because she didn't like me, because I didn't like her.
And why do you think that you were ultimately not victorious in court?
Man, it was, first of all, I wasn't paying attention to my case. You know, I hired lawyers that were fresh out of college.
I heard your legal team was not great.
No. And when if you've never dealt with lawyers before, that was the first time I ever hired a lawyer for anything, right? Because I fucking 35, 36 years old. What the fuck? I don't break the law.
Your first time is always tough.
Yeah. It's kind of like you.
Oh,
so I didn't know. Like it was kind of like, oh, they said, and they were the cheapest too, because you know people wanted it. They heard Cardi B, then they wanted them retainers $50 $60,000. I was like, where the fuck I'm supposed to get that shit from?
Right, which is like nothing compared to how much she ended up spending.
Man, listen, because she had a team.
Yeah.
She had 2 teams. She had a team in New York and a team in Georgia. So, and it's Cardi B coming. She got an endless amount of money. They billing.
Right.
They billing. That shit, if you see the records that they got they got every tweet, every fucking comment that somebody made to the tweet. I said, ooh. When I saw the end result of how much she paid, I said, they the only ones that really won.
Right.
You know? So, yeah, my lawyers was $5,000 retainer.
Really?
Yeah.
5,000. Mm-hmm. Damn.
Showed up and I introduced them. I said, this is my legal team. Bitch, we about to fight.
Were you astonished when you ended up losing?
I was surprised because I was just like, but I really wasn't surprised because the judge had already kept out a lot of stuff because everything that I commented on came out of her mouth. It wasn't like, malicious. It's like, oh, I'm gonna make this shit up about you. You see what I'm saying? I didn't just say, oh, I'm gonna do this. But they found, they played a video. It was after, we was like 3 years into litigation where I just snapped on her because she had, these so-called YouTube investigators coming to my house, going to my daughter's school, asking questions about me, these just random ass people, right? And I'm, just had my baby and I was like, you know what? Fuck you. And I went in and I was like, bitch, that's why your husband, I said, you can go get your body done out as many times as you want. It still don't keep your husband at the house. He is outside. You too busy over here watching me and you need to be watching him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went the fuck in. I dragged everything. I was like, you can have as much plastic surgery as you want. He don't want it. And that's what you're mad about. You're mad about that I won't stop reporting on him and his escapades. And you are a fucking celebrity. And frankly, the things that you say about people, especially black women, calling black women roaches, monkeys, that's why your baby died, wishing AIDS on people, shit like that. So you're a very disrespectful young lady. And I'm a grown-ass woman. And I don't give a fuck if you're the president of the United States. You're not going to disrespect me like that. So you can spend as much money as you want, but you will never get my respect for that shit. Ever. Now, I'm a practical person. You want to have a conversation and we can both issue some apologies, we can do that. But as far as I'm concerned, you don't just tell me to fucking bow down to you. Like, who the fuck are you? Bitch, you shit and piss just like me. And you shit on live. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, no, like, I think the fame and the power and the money and stuff, like, got to her head. But I'm a country bitch from the South, and I've been broke my whole life. It took me 20 years to pay my student loans off. Probably gonna take me 60 to pay her.
Right. So do you have any regrets about how you handled it? Because you always see these headlines now.
No.
It's like Tasha K
But she
trying
did
to pay.
all that. But she paid for all that.
Okay. So
Like,
when you are saying I'll pay you X amount per month or whatever, that's
all I got. I mean,
Right.
she got to get what I got. You know what I'm saying? So, no, I'm not worried about none of that. Headlines is the least of my motherfucking worries. Like, thanks for the free press. You know how much it costs for a fucking publicist?
not really.
Right. They start at $5,000 a month. That's
Right.
base price. But for the headlines that she got, the internet, they writing about me in fucking Portuguese.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then people that come over, they're like, we hear so much about you. Who's this Tasha K person? They get over there. I fucking love you. Like, you're amazing.
Do you feel like she kind of blew you up? Because a lot of people, when I said I'm interviewing this woman, Tasha K, today, people would be like, oh, I don't know her. And it'll be like, oh, wait, the one with the Cardi B thing? I'm like, yes. And then it clicks into their head.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. It did. But I mean, I was breaking big stories before then. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, really big stories. And but as far as the international side of it, I asked God to make me international. Now you can't, complain at how he do it. I know you're a non-believer, but you get what you ask for.
But does this kill a little bit of your motivation to grind when you're like, fuck,
No.
if I make money, it's going to somebody else?
No, she gets a portion of it. I mean, my money go to bill. It pays bills anyway. And every single fucking company gets sued. You just saw Fox settle a goddamn $800 million lawsuit from Tucker Carlson. Like, come on. Like, this is a part of the business, and I'm glad that I went through this because now I know how to run my business. I know not to do certain things. And when I get a lawsuit, just shut the fuck up. Let the lawyers handle it.
Okay.
And I have First Amendment right attorneys now.
Right.
They only do media. That's it. So, and they educate me. Do you know what this is? Do you know how to disseminate this story? I'm doing it out of entertainment. I'm a personality. So I'm literally giving my opinion. And I give my opinion based on stuff that's already out there. Now, if I'm breaking a story, I do that very different. You're not just going to come on my platform and allege all these allegations without any proof.
Right.
So we'll just, like, somebody came on my platform and was like, hey, Kevin, what's his name? Kevin Gates. He's he likes children. I'm like, oh, how do you know that? Did you see him with a child? No, so you can't say that. Well, it's just the vibe that he gives me. Okay, we're going to stick to what it is that you know personally, but we're not going to make any allegations up like that because that type of stuff sticks. You understand what I'm saying? And so then I have boundaries when it comes to my content. I don't talk about death. I don't want people having to relive and grieve, watching me talk about their loved one or children, or disabled people.
Right.
Like I have boundaries. When they leave my platform, they're going to leave entertained, laughing about some shit or enlightened. But as far as heavy shit, there's enough fucking death and shit going on out there. Go somewhere else for that shit.
Right.
So
was there any one thing in particular that you did or said about Cardi, though, that basically was like the thing that you think was the most damning to your case?
Yeah, so I tore her down in a video that I made. And that was when I talked about her real bad. And was
any specific allegation you put out there? No, it was just the whole thing? Damn.
There's an allegation about, her sexual health. That was made by the stripper friend. Okay. You see what I'm saying? She came on and she was like, the stuff that you see, around her mouth and all that shit, like, this is why she had it and all that stuff. So, she had already put that out there, and it was like Jocelyn Hernandez had made a whole diss record against Cardi and was talking about her sexual health. Azalea Banks,
You've learned to say sexual health instead of any specific disease.
Yeah, I mean, because it's not something I really, now, if I'm going in on somebody, it's kind of like your mama jokes.
Right.
Like the LGBTQ, sometimes the men could be very disrespectful, like Jason Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he riding with Cardi. No
I will go hard. You look sick, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's me. Like, that's kind of like, we going blow for blow, right? But as far as, I know for a fact, you got this, no. So
you trying to tell me something about Jason Lee right now?
Jason could tell you his damn self. Sure.
Wow. He told me he was on PrEP.
He should be.
I think he said.
Keeps, PrEP, they say it prevents and keeps the viral count low. So
he was shocked I wasn't on it.
You should be on it.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of motherfuckers out here that got AIDS.
I'm going to be real with you. In the porn world, it is unbelievably common that everybody has herpes.
Well, everybody truly does have herpes. If you had chicken pox or...
Herpes 1, yeah. Or what is it, A?
Yeah, like if you had chicken pox and stuff like that, yeah. I mean, that's a common...
That's not even...
Yeah.
People email me sometimes and be like, this girl that you're going to shoot porn with, she's got herpes. And I'm looking at the email like, what the fuck do I care about that?
You got herpes?
No, not that I know of.
I mean, probably there's a lot of people. I mean, if you had chicken pox and shit like that, you probably got it.
Yeah.
It's just, but it's dormant.
I just feel like if I made it to 40 and I'd probably fuck so many girls with herpes. And
how many sexual partners have you had?
About 600.
That's a lot. That's scary.
Yeah, for a non-rapper.
I wouldn't even eat at your house.
The first half was before I got into the porn world.
I wouldn't eat at your house. You couldn't even fix me a cup of water.
What?
Hell no.
No, we got to do this reality show.
No. And I'll be like, who fixed this food? I'm ordering Uber Eats. Give me some KFC, goddammit.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you like KFC?
I do.
Really? Mm-hmm.
I'm from the country.
Yeah. Popeyes is better.
No, KFC.
Church's
that
is
original recipe with KFC is good.
I got food poisoning from KFC one time. I've never been back.
Yeah, good. But no, like, I mean, as far as Cardi, like, I was a fan of her music. You know what I'm saying? I always talked about her personality, and I felt like her personality, like, really gave her that boost. But you don't see a lot of that no more. You see a lot of her drama. You
think she's scared to drop another album?
Yes, absolutely.
Why?
You spent 5 years,
riding out this one, yeah.
About me. And she's scared. Absolutely. And because, like, when you brag about, Grammy, and then the second album doesn't do as well, it's like, but what about those Grammys? It's pressure out here in the music industry, but You know, and I've said this on my show to her, like, it's not about the numbers. It should be about your love for music and your fans. Your fans are the one that keep you going. But you're in this competition, like with other rappers, and you'll never be able to compete with them, especially if they got a roster, a resume like Nicki Minaj.
But she's still hotter than Nicki right now.
You can't know.
You don't think?
Hell no.
I agree with you. Nicki is the greater artist for sure. If they both drop projects, Cardi's selling more, right?
No.
You don't think?
No.
Okay.
No. And you know, a lot of that. Here's the thing. Selling more. Okay, so anybody can buy bots.
Yeah.
And stuff and streams, right?
If they both drop albums, that is 100% going to be part of the equation when we're looking at who sold what.
Exactly, but we're talking about bodies. Like, are people buying your tickets? Can you go on tour? She's never done a tour, so you don't see the physical bodies. You see what I'm saying? The streams and stuff like that. She had a big budget, but that budget no longer exists.
Because Atlantic is
going through changes. There's other girls, you know, and two, like, she sold her publishing too early. Oh. You see what I'm saying? Like, you sold your publishing because you had lawsuits that you were fighting and you needed that money, you know? Right. So now that it's trickling down and you got to do Walmart ads, you know what happens when a goddamn rapper got to do a Walmart ad or an NBA player? You know what that is.
They're touring in Dusseldorf.
But listen, money getting low. Right. You got to, come on. But she always at Target in the video.
Okay, Cardi quote tweeted me on Twitter one time. In 2019, I went to the Wireless Music Festival in London, and we were going around asking people who they were there to see, and Cardi was headlining. And I was mostly asking girls because I don't want to talk to dudes, but every fucking girl I asked who they were there to see, every single one said Cardi B. I don't really have much doubt that she could tour and sell her huge fucking venues, right?
I mean, she has a fan base, right? She has a fan base, but she does not cater to her fan base. You see, like, I cater to the winos. You cater to your fan base. Right. But she's in other people's fan bases. Like, she's at the winos. Okay. She's with the barbs. You know, she's with the hotties. And then you're literally cussing your fan base out when they say, when we're getting another album. Right. I ain't dropping no album. I ain't doing this. You see what I'm saying? It's like, these are your fans. At the end of the day, whether you're selling or not, they're going to pay your bill.
But Rihanna hasn't dropped an album in like 6 years too, right?
She got fans.
Right. She has
but she don't be all up in other people's fan bases. Right. You cater to your own.
But I feel like Cardi isn't dropping an album because she had such a high off that last album that the next album, like, in all likelihood, is not going to do as well as the previous album. And it's kind of the same thing with Rihanna,
but she don't have that budget.
But can she make like whatever fucking amount of money she wants?
I mean, I'm sure she can make some money, but it costs money to make money in the music industry.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's a lot of, you want those big tickets, those big, you got to put some money behind that shit. Okay. The money ain't the same. And you know, Atlantic reported for the first time in 10 years that this was the worst that they've ever been at. They are trying to regroup.
I need everybody to check out NoJumper.com. We officially started a blog. It has in-depth articles about current events, music, etc., plus all of our content in terms of podcasts, interviews, etc. And you can get some exclusive new merch if you check out NoJumper.com. So make sure you tap in.